Hello there, and thank you for clicking on my video. We're going to be talking a bit about endo today. Just in case there's any confusion, I am re-recording this. It was pointed out almost immediately, and it was 100% my fault. I misspoke on what booster you needed to increase your endo drops. And the reason why I took the video down is because the booster that I referenced was the resource booster, which is purchasable from the market. The booster that you need is the mod drop chance booster. And if people listen to these videos and then go and act on it, I would essentially have been costing you actual premium currency. Not saying a resource booster would have been bad, but what you really would have needed was a barrow booster, a barrow only booster that is a mod drop chance booster. Generally, you buy them and it gives you 3 days worth of mod drop chance increase. Just to get that out of the way. But let's go over some of the basics on farming endo. Endo is essentially the lifeblood of getting stronger in Warframe. There are many ways to actually go about obtaining endo. We'll start with a one-on-one approach, move into the 102, slightly more advanced stuff, and then we'll talk about the hyper sweaty farm that can net you 100,000 endo an hour. So we'll start with the basics. Everybody is familiar with modding, at least the modding station. The easiest way is passively just collecting mods as you go through the day, as you play. We'll convert some into endo now, select a stack of mods, take one or two off so they're yours, confirm. If you see over here, it shows dissolve. And I'll simply click, say sell, and I just netted myself 8,050 endo. Nice and easy. As you go through and play the game, you will collect many copies of mods, and this is probably the best way to farm endo. More so that you don't actually farm it directly, but you just passively generate it as you play the game. Okay, so let's talk about more specific ways. Iatan treasures. These are found randomly in missions. There is actually a more specific way for later game players, but the new ship, the Parallax, actually shows these on the map if you have them in scan range. So this is a way to farm endo. There's also a helminth ability that can help you farm those. This one, Golden Instinct. Pretty good. I've heard it's difficult to use. I've never used this, but I know many people that have gone through and gotten their sculptures done uh, just to get some hidden lore and get it out of the way and get it 100%. Also helps with cephalon fragments. But those are the probably going to be the main ways of doing it. Doing your weekly Iatan from Morrow is passive endo. There's also, referring to standing, there's this guy, which you can get from Deimos. It is a standing Iatan. At my current rate, because I'm LR2, I can get one of these guys essentially 2 every 3 days. So it's a couple thousand endo a day, but you're talking a prime mod a week passively, essentially. Yeah, I have Morrow's Bazaar treasure hunt up. This is the weekly reward you would want to do. I should probably do this before the weekend rolls over. But this is a guaranteed Iatan. It's generally, I've noticed, one of the cheaper ones, but it is what it is. It's a guaranteed Iatan. It's a couple thousand endo in your pocket. Nothing to complain about. And right above it, ooh, a power strength for gyre. That might be interesting. And my preferred method of farming endo is actually arbitrations. The combination of farming Vitus and the reward pool for arbitration having such good endo drops is generally just too good to pass up. You could farm up a prime mod's worth of endo in like 3 hours easily, and then you'll have the Vitus drops. And not only that, but if you're really hurting for endo, you can do Vitus and go to the store where you redeem them and get Iatan sculptures there. There's a unique one from the Arbiters of Hexus. So that's more endo. You also have, in the relays, you also have Teshin if you are doing Steel Path, though to be honest, if you're doing Steel Path, you probably don't need this guide. But you also have the rotating reward from Teshin. Sometimes the reward up here will be 30,000 endo. And that's really helpful if you're hurting. I picked that one up when it does show up. And those are going to be the main ways that you would look to get endo, ultimately just passively. Because you're not really going to be upgrading prime mods too much. And the savings you get from leaving prime mods at rank 9 to rank 10, leaving your prime mods at rank 9 compared to rank 10, and just coming back later when you passively have the endo and upgrading to rank 10 is so big. You can literally have 2 rank 9 prime mods for the cost of 1 rank 10. So that's a strategy to make your endo go further. But the other method, and I'm just going to mention it because it is a source of endo, is the bounties in the open world. A lot of them have endo in the reward pool. And basically, any place on the star chart, as long as it's not the void, has endo in the reward pool. So as long as you're doing, when you do your survivals, you're hitting your timers, defense missions, you'll pick up 200, 300 endo a mission. You'll just passively generate endo as you play the game, especially picking up mods. Another way to hard farm endo, more or less, is to do Railjack missions. I'll go to my dojo real quick. This is another great source of endo that like a solar player could do, especially if you get to the point where you're at Railjack. Go to the dry dock. You have the scrap wreckage, right? 1,500 endo. As you burn through missions, you're going to pick up plenty of these. Like a lot of them. And when Railjack came out, legitimately, I probably farmed up 1.5 million endo. Just leveling my ship, getting all of the alternatives. Like when I was farming up the variants and everything, getting 2 of everything. Obviously, I farmed it a lot more than the average person, but doing all of this, like, I'm almost completely upgraded with my Railjack. I think I have, like, 2 more, 2 more armaments to max. But just doing that, I probably farmed up 1.5 million, maybe 1.4, in just extra scrap wreckage. So this is an excellent farm for endo. Also, when you're doing Railjack, if you're hurting for endo, or if you're trying to level your intrinsics for a quick MR bump, if you're newer and you have your Archwing, make sure when you're going through to open the lockers. It's like 5 endo every time you open a locker in Railjack. Obviously, it's 5. And if people are trying to blow through the level, but if you're doing a survival or you're going solo and doing like exterminates or something, or just doing caches for the rewards, or like you're trying to farm the Nautilus or the Carmine Penta or like the Epitaph or whatever, just open up the lockers as you're going through the mission, and 300-400 endo emission should be expected. What else do we have? Arbitration rewards, the Weekly of the Dream Bulls. Okay, the big one. The super sweaty, min-maxed way to farm endo is when you're in Steel Path, the highest amount of endo you can get per hour is actually arenas. And it's because of the mod drop chance booster. If you look down on the bottom, and even if you do this on regular, but on Steel Path especially, on this node here, also word of warning to interject, there is a cap on the number of multipliers to resources, mods, not credits, I don't think, but don't quote me on that one. But on resources and mods of a 4x multiplier. So Steel Path has a 100%. If you have a mod drop chance booster, it gives you the 4x. And this also applies to everybody in the group generally. If it's a chance to drop, the doubler is going to be just for you. But when you go here, there are very, very min-maxed setups for clearing this node as easily as possible. And if you see, it's Steel Path, and the enemy units are 185 out of 185, and they mean it. But if you get to this point and you have a team, Coot in the comment section pointed out what I had sort of known in terms of what the min-maxed set, the current one is a Korra, a duration cage Korra, preferably with a glaive prime. Not necessarily that, but something that can nuke enemies easily. And you'll run 2 Necroses with Despoil, and Korra for her cage, and particularly, and this is the important one for doing it as fast as possible, because in this situation, endo's time, you want a max range, minimum duration Nidus. Like, you're going to be taking Transient Fortitude and Fleeting Expertise to get that 13% duration. And you want the maximum range possible so you can just vacuum enemies into the Korra cage. And your team is basically going to stand there and collect as much endo as possible, but you're all going to focus fire and destroy the enemies. And you'll have enough energy because of the double drops, because of Necros. Everybody's going to have health orbs and whatnot. But with that method, when you get your doublers built up and you get a proper team, farming arenas can easily net 100k endo an hour. And it is probably the fastest way, and will be probably for a long time, for collecting endo. Like, arbitrations, I think, can do like 10 to 20k an hour, just the pickups and the rewards. and you can boost it further with the Arbiters of Hexus store. But in terms of straight up endo drop, the arenas are the name of the game. If you are looking to power level your mods as fast as possible, what Eidolons are to the focus tree, doing arenas are to your prime mods. You will knock your prime mods out super fast, but you will have to hard farm endo and essentially nothing else, because it's really the only thing of value that really drops there. Like, you're not going there to farm resources, you're not going there to farm credits, you're there to farm endo. So it will be the only thing that you do. That's why I recommend personally to do other missions, but maybe run like a loot frame. Like, if you do survivals with Korra, you're gonna have endo eventually. If you enjoy playing Necros, you probably have endo. It might be in the form of mods. It might be it might be in the form of like Railjack armaments. But you probably have endo somewhere on your account. Another way you can get endo is literally straight up whaling for it. Ayatan treasures, and I wouldn't recommend this, and I've bought all sorts of dumb shit in this game, but Ayatan treasures are tradable. So if you, and they are kind of cheap, if you got a shiny new prime mod and 50p you're willing to spend to upgrade it, you can buy enough endo by trading these. 1, 2, 3 plat. It's literally an equation how much it's worth. Like, this one's worth 2,700. This one's worth 3,450. The 3,450 one's worth more. So you can whale for this also, though I really discourage that personally. In terms of stars, if you're playing Warframe a decent amount, you will naturally pick up enough stars to cover any statues or any sculptures that you collect. That being said, amber stars, because they do have the lower drop rate, there is a bounty. It's the endless one on Deimos, where it is a 50% bounty reward rate for amber stars. And it's a somewhat cheesable excavation endless mission. And you can farm 30, 40 amber stars in short order, because the drop rate is just so high, where it's the reward from doing the excavation round. So if you're short on these, and you have plenty of these, you can farm these. The amber stars, there's nothing with a similar drop rate where it's like 50%. And also, what else we got? I don't know, just play the game. Most endo, I guess if you're thinking about straight up endo, another thing that could be mentioned also is index. The mods from index are gold mods. So technically you are picking up credits and mods at the same time, but the endo farm is going to be significantly slower. But yeah, any sort of farm where you're literally just playing the game and you have like regular drop chance boosters, and like mod drop chance boosters, you will collect a ton of endo in some form. And to be honest, you probably have it on your account somewhere, and most likely it's probably in mods. Like, there's another 8,000. I'm at 50K. So, there, you probably have it on your account somewhere. So, check what you got first. Dissolve some mods if you're trying to farm endo. But if you really, really, really want to do it as a personal challenge and you're trying to hit the million endo mark, it's cool seeing it. I did it. Just to say I did it. If you're trying to get that much endo, you gotta do arenas to do it in any sort of time frame. Um, but yeah, the big ones in terms of passively playing are gonna be the Arbiters of Hexus. If you have 500 Vitus, you can go and get a ton of sculptures and just turn them in. If you enjoy arbitrations, you probably don't need anything that's in this video also. But if you want endo and you want a ton of it, arenas are absolutely the way to go. So I hope this helped. I hope it was a word of warning. I hope this helps some new players. If you didn't know that lockers on Railjack give endo for opening them, leave a like or a comment, I guess. Because that it's always so silly. Every time you go through and you're opening lockers, and it's like, oh, I have 45 endo. I guess I opened lockers. But anyway, have a blessed day, guys, and I hope this helped. And remember, it's the mod booster, not the resource booster that you need. So it's a barrow item. You can't buy it. Don't buy the one on the marketplace. Have a blessed day, guys.